Hey, good morning. Happy Monday, February 12th. Let's recap from last week. Hey, so what's going on at the MLD agency? Well, you know what? As I said, I'm out, but I'll tell you next week, I'll pre-record next week's topic, which will be for February 12th, and that's going to be on, pre-authorizations. Wow. Can't wait. That's right, this week is on pre-authorization. You know, that's really an interesting topic. It seems like people who are on group insurance or under 65, when they're told they have to get pre-authorization for typically mostly elective procedures, okay, that's what you have to do. And that's where the provider calls the insurance company to make sure that the insurance company is going to cover a claim, and the provider has a good idea as to what they're going to get paid. And you should really like that too, because that gives you a good idea as to what you're going to have to pay. But you know, there's something like a little switch that gets flipped or twisted or turned or whatever. As soon as we turn 65, well, I don't have to have pre-authorization. It's something you've been accustomed to your whole life. On Medicare Advantage plans, and that's the future right now. That seems where everybody's going. Over half the people are signing up for these plans. Pre-authorization is a fact of life. Okay, so it's nothing new that you haven't been accustomed to in the past. And the same thing, the provider wants to make sure that they're going to get paid. But Mark, you know what? What about going with the Medicare supplement plan? I had my procedure and it didn't get authorized. Whoa. So I don't know what's better, the Medicare Advantage where you get it up front or the Medicare supplement. But the bottom line is the insurance companies are not going to pay anything, whether it's a Medicare Advantage plan or it's a Medicare supplement, if Medicare doesn't approve of it. So it always goes back, so to speak, the buck stops with Medicare. And then I'll get the statement of, well, I don't understand. Why do I have to have pre-authorization? Well, you know what? A lot of it simply goes back to fraud, waste, and abuse. Fraud, waste, and abuse. All right. It's been estimated in 2019, $760 billion. $760 billion is the result of fraud, waste, and abuse on the healthcare system. Wow. This is like equal to 20 to 25% of the nation's healthcare budget. Fraud, waste, and abuse would cover 20 million people for healthcare. So let's make the assumption I'm blowing a lot of hot air, my figures are inaccurate. Okay, fine. Take the time, do a Google search on everything, and if my figures are wrong, they're wrong. But you know what? You're going to quickly find out that this is a huge, huge problem. So this is why fraud, waste, and abuse is being looked at. Pre-authorization is necessary to make sure that these procedures and the health care you're going to get is appropriate. If it's appropriate, don't worry about it. They're doing their due diligence to make sure you're not being taken advantage of. How would you like to have a surgery on something that does not need to be done? You know, when you go in and you have a surgery, aren't they marking you up with these Sharpie pens to make sure it's going to be this side of the body, not that side of the body? You know you're coming in for this, not that, right? This is all part of pre-authorization. Hey, so what's going on at the MLD agency? Well, like I told you, I'm out of town. But next week, I'm looking to be back in the office, and let's see, what should I do about next week? You know what, maybe I'll do something on telemarketing fraud. I just had to, in January, take a class on money laundering, of which they talked a lot about these telemarketers. Maybe we'll do that next week. Until next week, hey, take care, and hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Valentine's Day.